All right, let's go over here at round of introductions.
Scott Morley, Select Board.
Harry Keeman, Select Board.
Dan Webster, Select Board.
Matt Maxwell, Town Administrator.
Israel City Planning Commission.
Chris Roy, local reporter and town resident.
And Deb Tangway is here via Zoom.
Hi, Deb.
Any changes tonight? Good, public
No.
comment? Let's get to it then. First up is Coventry Fire District.
Is that mine?
That's yours.
I just wanted to say thank you to Carrie for helping.
You're welcome.
Yep.
I'll say thank you to both of you.
We went to a lot of meetings. We helped, I think, with a lot of issues. I believe that we participated in a level that was helpful, don't you? And that's the feedback we received. So I just wanted to have that come up in this meeting to say that that's concluded, that the fire district did have their annual meeting recently. And Carrie and I were both voted off the board.
Off the island.
Which is a good thing. They got a full complement, I think, right? On the
Three-member board.
the Prudential Committee. There's other vacancies that are there, but anyway, that satisfies our work. Thank you, Deb, if you're listening, for all of the help that you gave us, and Dom. Very appreciative, and I hope it works out for you guys. We're still close by. If you need anything or you want to fight about anything, we're here. So that's it for me.
Very good. Thank you.
Scott, I know Carrie did tell me before the meeting, but I'd like to hear the names again and what was the budget vote and for how much?
Deb.
Hopefully there's gonna be no barking, but we will see. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, for the articles, Article 3 and Article 4 was the ensuing, well, it's the current fiscal budget and the ensuing fiscal budget. Both of those passed 14-5. And then Article 5, 6, 7, and 8 were basically to go ahead and take some excess monies that was in an account to put them into 4 different reserve accounts. Those 4 passed 18-1.
I don't know that I immediately have those numbers. What was the budget for the ensuing year and for the next year?
Oh, I'd probably have to, actually, wait 1 minute, I can get that for you. You're looking for the budget amount?
Yeah.
It should have been on some of the documents that you ended up taking from the budget informational meeting.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that I have immediate access to them.
Yeah,
Could you
no, let
If you could
me,
email it tonight, that would be awesome.
You can just email it to Chris. Deb,
okay,
if you
I will
would.
do that. Yep,
Yep.
Yep.
Is that okay, Chris?
Yeah, if the town clerk could do that tonight, that would be awesome, and, yeah, also, if she could let me, I know Carrie told me, but just for my, well-being. Who became members, who's on the
Okay.
board and the term?
Yep.
Who's your Prudential Committee now, Deb?
the Prudential Committee is still Dominic Gervais, Lynn Jacobs, and Kate Fletcher.
Who's the second one, or some fool was coughing,
Lynn Jacobs.
Lynn Jacobs. Okay.
So,
And you'll email me the budgets tonight?
Yep, I can do that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Thank you, Deb.
so Dom got the 3-year, Lynn got 2-year, and Kate got 1 year. So then it's a
Correct.
rotating
So it's
Prudential
staggering.
committee again.
Okay. Thank you.
The town report proof is on the table. It has to be back tomorrow. So you're probably just gonna have to take my word for it.
Have you gone through this with a fine tooth comb after you had a few days away from it?
Yeah,
Just Article 11 doesn't have the fiscal year.
it's not going to.
No?
No, you already signed it, that's the one.
Oh, yeah, yep.
So you sent it off a week ago
Yeah,
and so you've had some time away from it. When did we get it back? Today?
Friday afternoon.
Friday, so you've had some
Yeah.
time to look at it. There's always a few
There's
small
always a
typos
small
and a
couple,
few
yeah.
issues, but,
Yeah.
you seem confident.
Yeah, all the letters look good, you guys' letter, Deb's stuff looks good, Dave Barlow's stuff looks good, the school stuff looks good, the budgets are readable, my letter is fine, Nathan's Davis letter's fine, all the appropriations look good. Yeah, I don't think we need to mess with it.
Has anybody else gone through it?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. Carrie?
No, I just flipped through a couple of pages.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Here,
had just a few minor different little changes to make, but Matt had commented that it was too late to make those changes.
And they're not big issues?
No.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
for presentation wise.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not gonna get it out of order, Matt.
It's fine, you can do whatever you want with it. The only thing I need is that front page where it says.
Shuffle.
Right, yeah, you can do that, that's.
Did you keep, we kept the order the way the order has been recently, the last few
Here's
years?
that picture.
The town and the school.
No, I made one change. I moved
Oh,
I moved Dave Barlow's
Oh, yeah.
report
Is that
right after the
John?
budget.
That his name?
Talks
John.
about the
Barker?
budget and his
Yeah.
stuff, so I put him right after that. That
Okay.
way, if people go through the budget, then they read his thing,
3, 4.
you know, and it's not, they're not gonna forget about.
I was
and then
looking for
you
you
don't
in
have
there.
to go
Oh,
back.
yep.
I was
So I
taking the picture?
Well, I'll run a
Everything
block
else
or
is the
something.
same.
Yep.
This might be
Alright.
me.
And then we moved the town foundation to its own separate section as
Oh,
well.
yeah, Deb, because the town foundation had more pages than they usually do, and Deb wanted it in a certain spot, so I put that where she told me to.
Okay. Where's the select board's message?
You should be right after Dave Barlow, I believe. I reckon treasurer. Yeah. right there.
All right. Well, I mean, hey, what am I supposed to say other than thank you? A lot of
Yeah.
work,
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's one of the big
Um,
ones.
so we stayed with color. We kept our format, our large.
Yep.
What's our cost on it? Did we stay within our budget?
Yeah, we had a 2 or 3 year contract with these people. So it's the same, whatever it was.
Okay,
And what makes it nice is they actually do the mailing of it for us as well.
Right, they mail it,
that was a change we made a few years back.
you know.
Yep, and it was a smart change.
And so they put a mailing slip. Did we supply that?
Yep,
We supplied.
We supply them, yeah, with the labels, well, with the addresses, they incorporate it into labels and they place it on the books.
Okay,
Do they know when it might go out?
yeah, well, as long as I get it back to them tomorrow, you should have it at your house within a week and a half, 2
Mhm.
weeks the most.
Yep, good.
I think that's important.
Yes.
You know, if there's ever complaints that I hear and they're legitimate,
Mhm.
there's not enough time. That
Right.
people don't feel that they have enough time with it.
Right.
And so the
We
earlier
want
we can get
people-
that out,
We won't have 2 or 3 weeks with it.
so.
Yeah, cause I know, I feel like in the past, quite a long time ago, it came like just days before town
It
meeting.
did, yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
That was the long past.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Yeah.
My fault?
No, that was the long past.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, well, so do you need us to sign things
I
there?
don't think so,
No.
no, just
Doesn't look like it.
just look at it, and if you have, I mean, obviously you're gonna log on, but.
You don't even need a motion on it, really, I mean.
You
So-
guys, should be making a motion to approve that.
We should,
Yeah,
okay,
it's your book.
Okay, motion to approve the town 2024 Town of Coventry Annual Report.
Second.
all in favor?
I,
We're good?
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Okay, Merc grant update. I think most of you should have seen my email, a couple weeks ago about the proposal that we got. And, we decided we're not gonna go forward with that consulting firm. And this is my fault. I think I just got a little bit ahead of myself on that one, and I just think we need to just slow down. I've spoken to Building General Services a couple times. We can break out the stuff that we don't want. So I think, our next step would be for the town to write up its own RFP about specifically what we want done in each one of those buildings. Send that out, get some feedback back, and then, make some decisions there on contractors and stuff like that. And they did say that we should work on the heating and the insulation parts first, the heating, cooling systems and the insulation parts first. Don't worry about the solar arrays, don't worry about the EV chargers or anything like that. Work on the internal building stuff first, get that out of the way, and then go from there. So I think, just a kind of a different, we're gonna send out and get back what we want specifically. I'm not gonna take any more of these proposals of people just saying, hey, we'll come in and do this job for you. We're gonna tell them what we want, and then, if they're capable of doing that, at least I think that's the approach we should take.
yeah, that's,
If we do bits and pieces at a time, get the furnace here, maybe upgraded.
Timeframes, are we up against any timeframes on the projects?
It was a
We've got
while.
to the end of 2026. I mean,
So 2 years, so we
we're
have
up
two
against
years.
something, but it's not anything.
Okay,
We don't have to have it done by May.
No,
okay,
I mean, these are good things, you want something you want in here working on in the summer when when heat's not gonna be an issue,
Right.
You're not gonna worry about having to heat the building if they have to work on it for, 3 or 4 days. So
all right.
I think
That makes me feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Cause I was feeling pretty
I
uncomfortable
know
there.
we're,
That was moving along real fast. That's a lot of money.
yeah,
And it's not our money, but we have to be good stewards. And I took that documentation, that last stuff that we had, I took it home and I actually read it. And there's a lot of good that we should take advantage of. But there's a lot of stuff in there that is debatable. I don't think any of us would debate windows and doors and insulation and furnaces, upgrading furnaces. But there's some other things that I know I am not, at least initially, gonna raise my hand and vote for, like solar installations on the roofs. It's not my thing. I think there's a lot of things that are not always good about that. Electric charging EVs, looking at electric bills and who's gonna be using those, we're gonna be charging all of JPeaks skiers, I'm sure, on the way through and at that expense. There's just a lot of questions on stuff like that. So for me, when I thought through it again and I read that stuff, and I'm glad to see we're slowing down on it, so that we're not forcing votes here and get all in an argumentative mode. It is simply, I would like us to take the easy stuff, the no-brainer stuff, and make those plans and start forwarding that stuff. And for my mind, I look at it like I'm leery usually to take something for free that's gonna drive costs in the future for the town. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
It's gonna benefit us, whether it's oil or whether it's propane. We can have that debate. We need furnace.
yeah,
Mhm.
But we don't really know what we're doing with this garage down here. We need to figure that out. right? There's no need of putting a new furnace in there and spending Fed money or whoever money if it's not gonna be used. So we should have that discussion. And if we do that, then there's probably a lot of other things in that building that we're gonna have to do if we're gonna heat it. So we gotta have to talk that stuff through.
That's the other thing too. It could be just cold storage.
Exactly,
Vehicles in undercover, they don't have to be heated.
exactly. I think, and then, we don't need the water, we don't need that stuff. And if we're gonna go down that road of expanding the main garage, you really don't need it, right?
Mhm.
Maybe for cold storage. But I think that's the conversation. So thank you very much. Good slowing down, good review work.
Yeah.
For the company that we had. Thank you. So I think I would just leave us with that, which is when we go forward with that, let's all think through what's strong in your opinion and what's not.
Yep.
And if we differ, then give us time to talk through it, see the pros and cons, all of it. Use Matt, get Nathan involved.
Yep.
With his garage stuff. I've talked to some people on the differences between, oil and propane, and there's pros and
I
cons
have.
to everything.
Yeah,
And really, one day I think oil is the way to go. The other day I think, well, propane doesn't really matter, but I just don't know. You hear professionals give you different advice both ways. So I don't think it really matters.
yeah, I don't either.
To tell you the truth on it.
I talked to a plumber about it and it was just that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some are
Whatever.
more efficient, but they don't last long, and some aren't as
Yeah.
efficient, but they last for a long time.
Yeah. The only thing with the only thing for me with oil and propane, is that you get locked in with propane. And I don't ever really like that. I don't do it at my own house. You get their tanks and you start getting involved with that contract stuff, and that's who your supply is. And so there's additional work and when it's oil, you can go to wherever you want, easily and quickly.
Yeah.
But anyway, we don't have to have that discussion. Thank you. Have we already nominated you for that?
Yes.
You're in there anyway, so
He's the
that gives you.
liaison, he's the market liaison.
So between the three of you, just let us know, Gary and I know when you're thinking of doing stuff, and you can do it anytime you want.
Yep.
You can isolate that down now and say, we wanna go ahead with the windows and the doors, and you could bring that here real quick and then just go do it.
Yep, that's the understanding. We can
And
do that.
furnaces would be the same thing.
Yep.
You just submit
for
bills
summer.
as you have them.
Right,
So,
Just for my own sanity, what would the MERP grant have done? It was for what building, what would it have done?
it's for all improvements in all the town buildings.
Improvements. I know what you're saying, but I would like to hear you say, is it energy improvements or?
Yes, so I think it's municipal energy, whatever the R stands for, so I don't know, but yeah, energy, Chris, definitely. Yep.
It was a state program,
Yes,
for how much?
our award was a little over 400,000.
Was there a match?
No,
So you're turning it down, just so it's straight in my head, turn it down, why, Scott?
we're not turning it
no,
down.
we've already accepted.
We're slowing it
Yeah, we're
down.
slowing it down. We're
So,
slowing down our process.
so that we make sure that we get the right contractor.
Yeah.
For the work. Good reputational contractors who are gonna give us the service we want for the town. And we don't wanna just say, do all the projects, we wanna understand. We wanna know what we're getting, because we're gonna be owning them. If there's installations on a roof, we own that.
Yeah.
And there's things to think about, consider about that, the age of your roof, the style of your roof, what that means in 20 years.
Was there a deadline, is there a deadline or?
We have,
Yeah, I believe you have to at least, give them an idea of what you're gonna do with the money by the end of, 2026, December 2026.
You mean,
I don't think you have to actually have it all invoiced or anything, but you have to submit to the state a plan saying, this is what we're gonna do.
are you still on track for that though?
Are we still
Are
live?
you still on track to let them know what you're
Oh,
gonna do?
we'll be done way before that. Oh, yeah.
So you're just slowing down the process of picking a contractor?
Right, or maybe several contractors, yeah, yep. Okay, the personnel policy, should be on the table in front of you. You need a sign and motion copy of that for our town audit. That is the last version that you guys have approved. So,
The only other, I've got it in here. Just not necessarily tonight, but we had talked about, June 1st to October 31st, the road foreman and road crew may work for 10-hour days under number 8.
Okay,
From June 1st to June 31st, they can work 10-hour days instead of the 5/8. Because we had talked about changing that to like the last full payroll of
right.
20 of September, or, so it doesn't necessarily, I don't know if you want, if we're changing anything tonight, but that was just another conversation.
no, I would ask that you not change anything tonight.
Just get it signed and,
Sign it and approve it like that, so we can get the audit done, and then if you wanna make changes later, go ahead and do
yeah,
that.
because this stuff can be changed
Dave
at any,
Barlow needs that tonight.
yeah.
So
Yep.
this is already, we didn't
You did
approve
approve
that?
it, but I put a date on there, February 3rd, so if you'd like to, if you just make I think it'll look good in the minutes when we submit, if I give the minutes to the auditors too, and it'll make David happy if you make a
Mhm.
motion and I'll sign it.
Okay, so there is nothing new in here. This is what we've
That
approved.
is
We're just
there, yeah.
updating it,
No, nothing.
Nope,
new in
just
there.
signing it.
No.
just updating it with today's date.
Yep.
with
But I remember
signatures.
talking about that.
Yeah.
So it can be, submitted for the. Very, very close to being done.
Okay, so let's not forget what Gary's bringing up because that is very important. Thank you for reminding us. And I think what we needed to do, what we did then was, what we thought was the right thing to do. And what we learned was it wasn't always the best because it doesn't coincide with the pay period.
Right,
Right.
and they just kept doing the 4/10s because the weather was good. So it was,
Right.
And refresh my memory, what exactly,
So,
instead of a set date, it would be like the last pay period of September or the first full
Okay.
pay period of
Yeah.
October. Or something to that effect, or the last full pay period.
cause those dates, depending on your calendar, they're never usually gonna be
So
the
if-
very first day of a pay
If
period.
October 31st is a Wednesday, then how do they do, you know,
So we can do that
yeah,
after.
that's,
So you just want that.
make a motion to approve the personnel policy for the town of Coventry as presented.
second,
All in favor?
I,
No?
Okay.
Do it.
Good.
Thank you, Matt. Driving us tonight, isn't he? So that's a really easy thing for us to do.
Right.
Maybe our very next
I
meeting.
can
if
bring
you
it back,
want.
yeah, I can bring it back the next meeting.
Sure.
We need that
Yeah,
document.
throw it back on there and,
Yeah.
let's think about how the best wording is
Yeah,
for that.
and I
if you thought
actually,
about it,
as I
Gary.
was going through that, I've got a couple other things that I'm gonna suggest that we change to, so.
Minor tweaks.
Yep. minor.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Come up with that language if you want, whatever it should be.
Mhm.
Your mind is right. on.
Okay, I thank you. Dave Barlow, thanks you. Sullivan and Powers, thanks
Mhm.
you.
Yep.
Okay, next up, we have the town investment portfolio. About a couple months ago, you guys asked me to, look into some other, firms that handle long-term investments for municipalities. I spoke to a few on the phone, spoke to them again this week. We got a couple that would like to sit down with a representative of the town, so I was hoping you guys could decide on one of you that would be able to join me at those meetings.
I'm looking at you.
Um,
You come up with that stuff fast.
yeah. I think that's good. Let's just do a quick history on that again.
Okay, so Currently, all our long-term investments are currently held by Catamount Asset Management out of Rutland, Vermont. We've been with them for, I think, about 7 years. We had some discussions, you guys had some discussions amongst yourselves maybe a couple months ago about possibly getting another set of eyes on it. I mean, we didn't just talk about the investment portfolio, we talked about how we switch auditors every couple of years and we get, other businesses to look at other things. It's a smart thing to do, especially when you're dealing with this amount of money. So you asked me to do some research on some firms that were not Orleans County or Northeast Kingdom. You guys were thinking, Burlington, well, at least that far away, if not farther. I found 3 of them, or 3 good ones. I went through VLCT. VLCT sent me to a guy who works for finance for the town of Middlebury, Vermont, and he was very helpful. He helps out other towns with this. He gave me a list of some firms. I made some phone calls, talked to some people, talked to them again this week. Now the 2 that we're going to set up meetings with have a copy of our town investment policy, and they've seen a copy of our most recent treasurer's report. So they'll be familiar with what we've got for assets going into the meeting. And of course, this, nobody has to make a decision on anything, you might
like
whoever
what
you
we have.
decide, you might go down there and decide that neither one of those are what we're looking for, and then we just keep, there's lots of them. I mean, not lots of them, but there's more than 2 that could fit our needs, I believe.
So, thank you. You've already done a lot of that architecture. We appreciate that. I'd just like to take a minute too and have us all step back and sort of once again say, what are we doing, right? Why are we contemplating such a thing? So really, this is phase 3 of long-term care of our financial position in the town of Coventry, really, essentially. And I say it that way because for some long number of years, 20 years or so, the town, as it started to accumulate wealth, kept the money locally, and sort of standard business, right? We try to buy local, we try to do a lot of things local. We all know that Coventry went through a terrible time with managing its money, and things were sort of crazy. And there was a lot of things that we learned. And one of the things that we learned was sometimes you really need to seek outside professional service for things that are important as that. And so the conversation was had then, which was a decade ago or so, and the select board made that big first decision to adjust. And so we went out and the board found Catamount, and it's worked fine. But Matt's right, certain things, certain times, our assets have grown. I think that it's healthy to have other professionals looking at what we're doing too, and listening to others' professional opinions, seeing what we can improve upon, if we can improve upon it. And we don't know that. We're not those professionals ourselves. So I think what our role is to guide that and make sure that we're finding those right people, and that whatever work that they're providing for us is in a way that we can understand it, we can see it, we're comfortable with it, and it outlives us. That's probably the way we should think about that. So I would like to be that participant, and it would be without decision making. And I always say that, right? When each of us go out on our own to do particularly special projects for whatever reason, that's really the way it is. So Matt and I, we would certainly be inviting the town treasurer to be part of that, to sit in those discussions, and then all of that information comes back here, but you don't have to sit in a meeting and go through it all then, right?
Mhm.
So that's the reason. I think it's healthy. I think it's time. We've probably been about 10 years, I'm guessing. Pretty close, with Catamount. It's 7.
Seven or 8.
Um,
David would know the exact.
so,
I think somewhere like that.
anything you guys want to add to that?
I think it's good. I think we should.
Yeah.
It's just like getting, just like the furnace, you get the experts to do it. And we may find that we like what Catamount's doing, we don't want to, so
Exactly.
just gathering information.
You don't need to make a change just because you do it. Just
Right.
because
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So you can give me a call sometime. You haven't set up dates already.
I have not, no, I was waiting to get a person,
Okay.
and then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I told David last Friday, me and David talked about it, and he just,
Okay.
he's available when we need him, and
Perfect.
we just need a select one person.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, guys.
Okay,
There's David now.
there he is, right on time for the treasurer elected versus appointed.
Well, that's my issue too. Why do I always have the sensitive ones? So that is an issue I've talked about a few times, and I asked Matt to put it on the notice today for a discussion. That's it. Because I think it's one of those items that everybody talks about, but their private conversation doesn't happen here. So a little bit of history there too. Everybody knows it, right? There came a time in town where our treasurer left. And we were fortunate enough to have David Barlow come along, and he was a resident of the town and helped us immensely clean up. Tremendous amount of work. He should be tooting his own horn on all of that, and certainly can. He's done a very good job with all of that. The history goes on that then there became other decisions that position became an appointed position instead of an elected position. David no longer lives in town. It's an issue that just needs to be discussed. Without personality, without conflict, just is. What I like to do is I try to identify those issues before they become a problem. What if everything changes, right? So David's not going to be the treasurer forever. What happens then? The responsibility falls to this board to find as quickly as we can a responsible treasurer, and you assume all the responsibility for it. And so there's pros and cons with all things. Personally, I like elected officials who are accountable to voters, not accountable to us, especially when there's some other dynamics that go on when we discuss, are they employee type people? Are they elected type people or appointed officials? We always have a little bit of gray area there. And it's relationship issues. Some of them it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I bring that up. I asked Matt to put it on so that I could make that public statement and say, I'm not suggesting that our current treasurer doesn't do a fine job, if he's still listening out there somewhere. What I'm suggesting is the process the work you want it to be for the town of Coventry. We're not putting anything out on a ballot measure this year. We're not having that happen in town meeting, obviously, right? We just did the town report.
Mhm.
So I thought it would just be a timely thing to have a discussion of, let you guys think about it. Tell me whatever you want to tell me in a week or today or in a month or never, but think about it. And there is pros and cons, it doesn't, sometimes it can turn into a personality contest, right, at town meeting. some would say it's good to have officials who live in the town because they're rooted there, right? I mean, that's essentially why it usually happens that way. So what I like to always try to think about is when the inevitable happens, when Mr. Barlow chooses not to be the treasurer anymore, what are you gonna do? You know, do you want that responsibility? Do you want the people coming after you to have that responsibility? To think about those issues and have an appointment, or would you like the town to help you think through that and elect a treasurer who you then can work with? It does set up a different dynamic.
So if Dave got done, like anyone should, like he just said, I'm gonna be done whenever.
Yeah.
Now we have to find another one, put it in the paper, almost like we do with the road crew.
Yeah.
If we were gonna, if they were gonna be an elected person, how would the process be kind of the same, only we wouldn't choose it? It would be how would it be different as far as finding someone?
So inside of the cycle, right? So right now, we have an appointed treasurer that the select board appoints.
Yeah.
So if, whenever that position becomes vacant, then it's our responsibility to fill it, and we would just simply appoint a new treasurer, just like you said, just like if it was Matt who left us. If it was an elected official through town meeting, then, and the vacancy occurred inside of the year, not on election day, for whatever reason, then the select board has two choices. We can appoint a treasurer until the next town meeting, or we can hold a special election. Just for the purpose of letting the town elect.
Yep.
Until the next town meeting.
And then the process, just like one of us, that would be.
Yeah. The person has to go, it's either a 1 year or a 3 year term, that can be worked out too, from the town. And yes, just like us or Deb, or the delinquent tax collector, or what else we got, that are all elected.
Mhm.
So, you're accountable to all the people that live in the town, not just us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So think about it.
Mhm.
You-
Yeah, that'd definitely be something for a town meeting, for people to decide if they want to change it back.
It's their decision.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can't make that decision.
Right,
That's
yeah,
absolutely
so, yeah.
correct. So it would be a ballot measure, and we would put that back, if that's what we were ever thinking of doing, a select board was ever thinking of doing, that's what you would do.
Yeah.
Is you would put it back on there, and you would ask them, we want to take the responsibility back, you want to take your authority back and elect your own treasurer, or do you not, and do you want us to keep having the authority, your authority to do that? So.
One of the things with elected, just like any position, but it's it's not a job that just anybody can do, be treasurer.
And that's, I think, one of the reasons, probably the strongest reason why
Mhm.
that we do have currently an appointed position, because David did have those skills.
Mhm.
And I think the board at the time wasn't seeing not applicants, right? But didn't see anything coming, I don't think. And so they felt that, this position was so important that they wanted to keep it.
Mhm.
Keep it going. So that's, like I said, think about it. It's good until it's not good, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah.
When and why was David, the position, became appointed instead of elected?
David would know that if he's listening.
2021? It's after COVID.
You listening,
It
Dave?
was, I think it was one of the years when we didn't have a town meeting because of COVID, wasn't it?
I don't know. I
David, you remember?
wasn't involved in it.
You can't unmute, so.
That might make sense that it was,
Cause remember, we had a couple,
Two.
we had at least 1 year.
2022? 2022.
2022.
And why, because there's no town meeting?
No, because the select board wanted to keep David, and he didn't live in Coventry.
When did he?
No, he said it's happened before he moved.
Oh.
He didn't move until
was-
23, but maybe it was for sale or something.
They wanted the select board to make the decision,
Who's they?
whoever was on the select. Board.
The select board wanted to make the decision.
Right. Instead of having it be elected from the floor like it used to be.
And to be just for my own sanity, and to be elected, person has to be a town
Resident,
resident or a town voter.
Resident.
Maybe the wrong
Both.
thing.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had, before that, they had to live in Coventry.
Yeah.
So we had, I mean, like, I can't remember who the treasurer was.
there was a fellow that was there for a very short period of time.
Oh, Adam.
Adam Messier.
Yep, Adam Messier. Okay, and then before that, it was Cynthia, right?
Who was it before, David?
Adam Messier.
Yeah, just for a short period of time.
Yeah.
He helped us.
Transition of,
So, think about it. I might throw that out at town meeting just to see the reaction under new business. To see what folks say and ask for them for feedback, what is everybody thinking? Give us some feedback, give us some guidance. What are you thinking about or wanting to do? And depending on whatever we hear, then it gives us again, we'll have plenty of time to
Yep.
think through all those moving parts. But anyway, that's that.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, upcoming select board meeting dates. Everybody get calendars out. All right, so me and Deb worked on this last week. Make sure I don't screw this up, Deb.
What is this?
These are upcoming meeting dates. So the next
Oh, yes.
schedule, we're supposed to do the first and third Monday. So the third Monday in February is a holiday. February 17th. So we were gonna do the second February select board meeting on February 24th. Monday, February 24th. And then when you go to March, the first Monday in March is the 3rd, which is the night of the school informational meeting. So I'm the moderator for that, so I can't do the 3rd. So town meeting's the 4th. So our March meetings would be March 10th, which would be the reorganization meeting after town meeting, and then March 24th. So it's the
Correct.
second, is that right, Deb? So it's
Yep.
it's the 2nd and 4th Mondays for March, and then, well, today is the first Monday in February, but the 1st and 4th Mondays in February. As long as
So the
you guys
next
are good with all that.
board meeting will be the 4th.
That will go, that's the easiest for Deb with her AP stuff, and it still gets us our 2 meetings.
Good, Deb?
That's good for me.
Well, that's what's important. I've said it before, it's, you guys are here, you work here every day, keep the place running. This is an adjustment you need to make to keep us sane. I'm all for
Mhm. It's
it.
good with
We
me.
don't do it very often.
Right.
We like our schedules, we
Yeah.
like our first and thirds, but
Yeah.
this is a unique situation, so I don't care.
Yeah, I'm good.
You guys,
Mhm.
you good?
Yep.
Okay,
Works for me.
all right.
So the next one will be the 4th.
24th.
You just send us
The
an
4th,
email.
the
I will
4th
send
Monday.
you-
fourth
yeah,
Monday, yeah.
I'll send you guys an email.
Yep.
Send us an email
So
with
that
those dates.
your next, you got 2 weeks off, and then your next meeting will be February 24th.
Okay.
And then I'll update you.
Yeah, just send us an email.
That works.
Okay.
Include Deb.
Yep, I'll CC Deb on that.
Thank you, Deb, for doing that.
And David,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Other business this evening.
Nothing here.
Great.
Nope.
Well, how about some Nick then?
Don't carry around.
She did,
And
and they looked good. Nope, they all look good.
Good with Carrie, they're good with me.
Mhm. Chance to do anything with just the name on the town trucks?
Yeah,
Or
I
not
called,
yet?
I called a couple, or emailed a couple people, I haven't heard back from them yet, but I just sent the emails today, so
Yep,
I
no,
expect
that's
I'll hear
fine.
back.
Yep.
Tomorrow.
Nice.
Who does that, man?
Uh,
Local?
Yeah,
There's
that-
3 or 4 that are
there's 3 or
local.
4 that pretty around here that do it.
Okay. So you're gonna do all of them,
I'm gonna try out, I think I'll try out 4. I sent 2 today,
both sides?
see what they get back, and then, you know,
Mhm.
No racing stripes?
no racing stripes, just town of Coventry, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What colors are our
Just
trucks?
a
Were they all white?
White.
And even when we get a logo, if we wanna add it in, but right now.
We should do just white lettering on, and
Just
then
white.
whatever truck colors you get.
It works, yep.
That should be a white truck.
Yeah.
Get out of my head.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for doing that, Gary.
Mhm.
Everybody good
It
with them?
looks good, yep.
Motion to approve the select board meeting minutes for the town of Coventry, Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025 as presented.
All in favor?
All right,
Okay, I couldn't vote on that, Matt.
Nope, yep, I know, yep, you weren't there that night.
Yeah.
Okay, and you should have a stack of warrants there. Now, some of these are approved already, right, Deb?
yes.
Dish these signatures.
There is one big stack that's already, well, it's been pre-approved by Scott,
Right, yeah.
and then all 3 need to sign.
My daughter.
That was, just because of our meeting schedule and the AP.
Correct.
So.
Well, actually, no, I had them done and I had it on my desk. And then you guys met, but I never let Matt know that they were done on my desk. So you guys had your meeting and you didn't have them. So,
Right, so I,
Check anyway.
so I just approved them so they could get bill paid and then.
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys can look at them. The big batch, I know in front of me here, but anything crazy coming?
Nope.
Nothing controversial?
Not that I could see. Not yet.
You're gonna have us out of here tonight.
Great, isn't it?
So is this is all one.
That may be the one that Scott previously approved. Is there an email?
Yes. Yep,
That's the one Scott previously approved. That you should have had at your last meeting.
Just send that along.
yep.
Town planners.
I
The,
saw-
the calendar books Deb gave you with the meeting, the fire district meeting. The little leather-ish
Oh.
covered.
It's the gift for town meeting. I'm gonna hand them out.
Yep.
Week of town meeting.
Well, that makes more sense. I'm thinking, how much further? things?
Yeah,
But he'd probably have a lot.
I guess I missed that, so.
Right, we're putting them on the chairs, Deb, at town meeting?
Correct.
Have we heard from Casella? For town meeting, for a representative to show and do their normal?
I can reach out to them. I have not heard anything as of yet. I would imagine they'll probably send Jeremy to come speak if they want him to be here to speak.
You call Matt.
Yep.
And talk to Trish. You know,
I'll
Trish,
talk to Kelly, she's.
okay,
She's in.
and just connect on that to see that we have a representative here and they can
Is there any questions?
do what they normally do for
Hand
us.
out their bag.
The bags with a planner in it?
Yeah. we'll put the plan in.
Probably, right? They'll have a better one.
No, why?
I just don't want us to disconnect on that.
Nope, you're right. Nope. Look at that.
Joe has always been our guy and,
Put that in.
he's retired now, so. Connect.
Motion to accept the warrants as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Right?
And, all right, that's, should do it.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Objection?
We beat the last meeting without Scott. We were out of here at 5:54. I just looked.
Come on.
It's
Yeah.
faster tonight.
We were faster with.
Who's-
Scott.
Oh, we were faster with
Yes.
Scott.